The gate agent sneered, yanked the black man's passport, and tore it in half. "You're not flying today," she spat, loud enough for everyone to hear. But what she didn't know was that the man she humiliated wasn't just any passenger. He was the undercover FAA inspector sent to evaluate her. What happens next? Let's start the story. The chaos of the airport buzzed as usual. Rolling suitcases, muffled announcements, hurried travelers shuffling from one gate to the next. At gate 47B, a line was forming for Flight 182 to Washington, D.C. A routine scene until things took an ugly turn. Elijah Carter, a sharply dressed black man in his mid-40s, stepped forward with quiet confidence. In his hand was his passport and boarding pass, and in his eyes, the calm patience of someone who traveled more times than he could count. But to the gate agent, Karen Whitmore, none of that mattered. Her eyes narrowed the moment she saw him approach. Dressed in a tailored navy suit, polished shoes, and carrying a sleek laptop bag, Elijah looked every bit the professional he was. But Karen didn't see that. What she saw, or rather what she chose to see, was someone who didn't belong in first class. Her smile was tight, rehearsed, but laced with disdain. "Passport and boarding pass," she said flatly, barely glancing up. Elijah handed them over politely. "Of course." She scanned it, frowned deliberately, and tapped the keyboard a few times. This doesn't look right." Elijah raised an eyebrow. "I booked this flight weeks ago. Should be no issue." "Well, sir," she dragged the word, loud enough for others in line to hear, "this passport looks suspicious." Whispers stirred behind him. People glanced up from their phones. Elijah remained composed. "Excuse me," I said. Karen snapped, voice rising. "This passport looks fake. Stolen, maybe. Where exactly did you get it?" A murmur spread. A man in line scoffed under his breath. A woman shook her head, whispering to her companion. Elijah took a deep breath. "I got it from the U.S. State Department, like every other citizen." Karen rolled her eyes dramatically. "Yeah, well, not today you don't." And with a sudden, deliberate motion, she tore the passport clean in half, right down the middle, holding both pieces like trophies. Gasps erupted from the line. "There," she said coldly. "Now you can't fly on stolen documents." Silence blanketed the gate area. Elijah blinked once, twice. His jaw tightened, but not with anger, with measured restraint. Slowly, he reached into his bag and pulled out a sleek leather folder embossed with gold letters. Federal Aviation Administration, Office of Inspection and Compliance. Karen's smug expression faltered. He flipped it open, revealing an official federal badge, complete with his photo, credentials, and the title Senior Aviation Safety Inspector, FAA. "Ma'am," Elijah began, voice calm but filled with unmistakable authority. "I am FAA Inspector Elijah Carter. I've been assigned to conduct an unannounced compliance check on this airline's personnel and operational integrity." Karen's mouth opened, then closed. Her face drained of color. What do you mean?" "It means," Elijah continued, standing taller, letting the weight of his words settle over the gathering crowd. "I've been observing this airline, this terminal, and your customer service practices under full authority of the United States Department of Transportation." Murmurs turned into full-on stares. Phones came out. People started recording. "What you just did," Elijah said, holding up the shredded passport, "is a violation of federal law. Damaging or destroying a passport is a federal offense under 18 U.S. Code Section 1543. Not to mention, your actions display clear racial discrimination, passenger harassment, and a total disregard for federal aviation protocols." Karen stammered. I didn't know." "No, you didn't," Elijah interrupted, his voice sharper now. "Because you judged me before you even looked at my credentials. You saw my skin before you saw the person. And now /" He pulled out his phone, typing rapidly. "I'm sending this incident directly to FAA headquarters, the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division, and the airline's Executive Compliance Board." Two uniformed supervisors came sprinting from behind the check-in counter, faces stricken with panic. Sir, is there a problem?" one of them gasped. Elijah turned slowly. "Yes, A very serious one. He gestured toward Karen, who now stood trembling, her hands shaking. This agent just destroyed my passport, accused me of being a criminal, and violated multiple federal statutes. The supervisor paled. "Oh my God," Karen stammered. I didn't know." "Didn't know what?" Elijah snapped, the composure finally giving way to righteous fire. "Didn't know that a black man could buy a first-class ticket? Didn't know that one could be a federal inspector? Or didn't know that your own bias would cost you your career today?" A stunned hush rippled across the gate. One by one, passengers began to clap, slowly at first, then louder. The man who had earlier scoffed now nodded with guilty respect. A mother pulled her child closer, whispering, "Remember this moment." The supervisor stammered, "Sir, please. We'll replace the passport. We'll rebook you." "Too late for that," Elijah said sharply. "The investigation is formal. And trust me, it won't stop with her. Every passenger who's experienced this kind of treatment today will have their voices heard." Karen's knees wobbled. I didn't mean." "You did," Elijah said firmly. "You just never thought someone with authority would hold you accountable." Minutes later, airport security escorted Karen away, not to assist her, but as part of a formal incident report. Her badge was seized, her employee credentials revoked on the spot. The airline's regional director, hurriedly summoned, arrived sweating, apologizing profusely, promising full cooperation. Elijah remained professional throughout, but made it crystal clear this wasn't just about him. It was about the countless passengers who faced similar humiliation without the privilege of a badge, without the power to fight back. Within 48 hours, the story hit national headlines. FAA inspector's passport ripped by gate agent in racist attack. Entire airline faces federal probe. News outlets scrambled for interviews. Social media exploded with hashtags like #FlyingWhileBlack and #JusticeAtGate47. Lawsuits were filed. Policies were rewritten. Diversity and sensitivity training became mandatory nationwide for the airline. Karen's name became synonymous with a cautionary tale of unchecked bias. But more importantly, Elijah's actions sparked a larger conversation. A reminder that dignity isn't a luxury afforded only to some, it's a right. And sometimes, karma doesn't wait for tomorrow. It arrives on time, first class, and wearing an FAA badge.